Hey everyone, it's Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys an old school album review. And today we're going to be looking into this album's 15-year anniversary, and it's from one of my favorite bands ever, and as Gazebo, the title. Today we're going to be looking into From Mars to Sirius by Gojira, the band's third album released on September 27th, 2005. Now, this is the band's third album following up their previous album, 2003's The Link. And with this album, this is actually a concept album. From what I heard, it talks about a resurrection of a dead planet through an interplanetary quest, talking about sort of like environmental issues as well as sort of like the broader themes of like life, death, and rebirth, which I think is pretty cool. And like the whole and I love how it pretty much like the whale and stuff, which became sort of like known for Gojira and especially like memes and stuff. Yeah, but this album is, like, in my opinion, is a really good album. This is probably like my favorite Gojira album, or second favorite. I don't know. For my opinion, I think Gojira never fails to release a bad album, in my opinion. Just one thing to note: production, fantastic, and just the vocal work. I mean, Joe Duplantier's vocals, has like a different range. Like he does like the more harsher, like death growly kind of like vocals, and he actually, I believe, on this album does a little bit more of like a cleaner kind of style singing. Well, it has the clean, but also has sort of like an aggression to it, I guess. That's hard to explain, but and just his riffing on this album is great. And I just love just like Gojira's like riffs in general is just amazing. Just like the, I don't know, it's just really catchy, just like really just odd time signatures, very polyrhythmic at times. Just sounds really great. And just like known for the pick scrapes and shit. Yeah, and Christian Andrews' guitar playing, like his soloing and just like the leads that it comes up with is great. The bass on this album is pretty audible. Jean-Michel Labadie's bass is pretty great. And what can I say about Mario Duplantier that hasn't been said before? Dude's a beast at the drums. In my opinion, one of my all-time favorite drummers. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is Ocean Planet, which just pulls absolutely just no punches, which starts off with a little weird with a little bit of like wails leading into just insane riffs, and it has a little bit of a melodic breakdown at about near the end after just some furious like guitar chugging. But yeah, that pretty much, the band pretty much delivers at like 1,000% on this track. Great way to start off this album. Anyway, moving on to Backbone, which has a really great chug, and it almost has a little bit of like an industrial kind of like rock metal feel to it. And Joe's sort of like vocals are pretty great. And this song has like a great shift, especially almost kind of like going around melodic death metal around 2 minutes in. Immediately, another one, probably my favorite song from the album. Anyway, moving on to From the Sky, which has a great just grooving death metal and just chugging riffs. And it has a really just great climax in here. Anyway, then we move on to a little intermission / interlude called Unicorn. It has like a little bit of harmonics and just very tranquil like song. Where Dragons Dwell, which has some really great bass on here and just some chugging in here. And some really great melodies. Like, I just love just the guitar tone on this song, and pretty much this album in general. Forgive me if I stutter too much. It's just amazing. And then we go on to The Heaviest Matter of the Universe, and this is a really great song title. And this is pretty much a lot of how people would describe Gojira would be this song title, and just became, I don't know, I feel like this could be the song that describes Gojira. Where if you were to play me a song, I feel like this pretty much would summarize the band. And this song just explodes, just insane, with just a flattening kind of like groove. It'll make you bang your head. And it's just, it makes you wonder how they're just so good at creating just great songs. And then we move on to the next song being Flying Whales, hence like the album cover. And like I said, it just features kind of like some whales samples and just some really good clean guitars that slowly just goes into another heaviness. And it just feels like it just takes you on a journey. Great song. In the Wilderness, which just follows kind of like more just crunching just riffs. And again, I feel like just musically and everything, it feels like if you were like watching something from like a post-apocalyptic scene. It's just it feels like you definitely feel it with this song. World to Come. Now, musically, when I first heard this song, it reminds me a lot of like early grunge, like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and stuff, because it's of like cleanly sung vocals during the verses, and also kind of like slowed down riffs, and almost kind of has a little bit of like bluesy kind of like leads, and it just also so has like later on goes into more just like the lumbering riffs, insane drumming, and just powerful like harsher vocals here. Anyway, moving on to From Mars verse, which is a little 2 minute instrumental. It's just very progressive and almost kind of feels like some like takes you back from the 70s, kind of like a la Pink Floyd or something, and which then leads into To Sirius. So it feels like From Mars to Sirius, which is kind of like two in one. But anyway, the next song is To Sirius, which kind of like borderlines on like heavy colossal grooves, blistering, just insane double bass drumming, and just some, I don't know, around like, I don't like 2.5 minutes in, just some great riffing and Joe's powerful vocals. And I also love how he does like the death growls around 2.5 minutes into the song. Another great song. And then the album closes with Global Warming, which starts off with a great tapping guitar riff, along with sort of like the band's like known heavy crushing riffage, plus some awesome drumming from Mario, and it has a great blend of like the harsh and clean vocals from Joe. Oh, and I just love sort of like the melodic part where Joe sings, "We will see our children growing," over and over until like the song ends. And I feel like it's such an amazing way to end this album. I love it. Now overall, From Mars to Sirius by Gojira is another great album to their discography. So if I were to give this album a score, I'm probably going to give this a solid 10 out of 10. Like, Gojira can do no wrong. So yeah, that's my review of this album by Gojira, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the album, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.